Needham residents gathered in front of Town Hall on Saturday, March 20th to hold a Stop the Hate Vigil to show support for Asian American and Pacific Islander neighbors. The family-friendly event was sponsored by the Needham Diversity Initiative, Needham Human Rights Committee, Equal Justice in Needham, Needham Interfaith Clergy Association, the Lived Experiences Project, Indian Community of Needham, Needham CPAC, At My Neighbor's Table, and Progressive Needham. Those who attended were encouraged to bring posters and signs, and anyone had an opportunity to speak. Here's a look at the vigil.
I bring my heart, I bring my voice, I offer them to you.
On Tuesday, March 16th, 8 people, including 6 Asian women, were shot dead by a white man at 3 Asian-owned spas in Georgia. And although the media currently fails to explicitly say it, this is undeniably a racially motivated hate crime fueled by xenophobia.
Words cannot express the sadness and the grief we feel. The loss of lives, most of women of Asian descent, is so shocking in its horror and so gripping in its connection to each of us, especially those of us in the Asian and Asian American communities. We also feel anger at the surge of anti-Asian aggression and violence, anger at the downplaying of the motive by Georgia law enforcement, and anger at the broader political climate that encourages and tolerates racial hate crimes.
The recent events in Atlanta are deeply saddening, but we must keep in mind that this hate crime is not an anomaly. Atrocities like this one have been occurring for ages. There have been 3,800 plus reports of hate incidents targeting Asian Americans since last March, which is an 150% increase from the previous year. It's about time we address why these crimes are happening. The extreme xenophobia and white supremacy in our nation's history has undoubtedly led to the multitude of hate crimes today.
We should not be paying for someone else's ignorance with our own lives. In a country supposedly built on justice and equality, there is so little of that apparent in our society today. Hate is so common, and this isn't an issue that just the people targeted have to deal with. This is a societal issue. It's something that we all deal with, and it needs to be addressed because it is all our responsibility as a community to not only remind ourselves, but everyone around us that we are valued the same because we are all human. And that is why you're all standing here today.
For those of us who are not a direct target of the ongoing hate crimes we have seen this past year, we must use our voices for those who are. We cannot wait for situations to get exceedingly horrific before we do something about them. We cannot treat these hate crimes as a trend. But what we can do is show our support for our community and our peers by using our resources, like our social media platforms, to educate and learn.
Hate has no home, here there's only room for love.
Words may fail us, yet it's impossible to remain silent. This is a time of wanting to be able to reach out, to do something, to relieve the hurt, to strike those who brought down this terrible injury. Let us respond in both words and deeds. Let us remember the victims by standing together and standing up for one another.
Rather than telling you to put yourself in someone else's shoes, I instead encourage you to put yourself and keep yourself in your own shoes and reevaluate yourself first. Before entering your classroom, your office, your restaurant, reflect on who you are and what you bring to create a loving community, because in a society so clearly built on violence and hate, you are truly the first step to the change that we so desperately need.
And in this circle justice has formed, I'll hold you through and through. I bring my heart, I bring my voice, I offer them to you.